Hello everyone. So this is the part 1 of my series of modern Indian history of spectrum, which is very much important for examinations, whether it's prelims or GS1 paper of mains. So as we all know that modern Indian history actually covers a significant amount of syllabus, and it overlaps with topics from economics and politics. So modern Indian history is very much important from exam point of view. So as we all know that we can trace back to the time of 18th century to the present, where modern Indian history time period can be referred to as the beginning. So that period begins with the decline of the Mughal Empire and the rise of the European powers, especially the British, so who eventually colonized India. And during the British rule, India saw a series of reforms and oppressive policies, and that led to poverty, social unrest, and resentment. So let's begin from the advent of the Europeans. So, what can be the motive of the Europeans? Like, why they need to contact with India? So, as we all know that at that period, like in the 15th century, uh, trade between Europe and India was already taking place through the Silk Road, which passed through the Middle East. And there was a high demand for Indian goods in the Europe market, like for spices or other Oriental luxury goods like gemstones and all. So let's see how it actually began. In the early part of the 7th century, the Arabs had actually had monopoly in trade, and they had some important regions under them, like Middle East, North Africa, and of course some parts of Europe. And actually this provided dominance for them, and they had the access to the major roads which connects the east and west. So Europeans had problems with this dominance, especially Portugal and Spain. So they decided to find a new road to Asia for trade, for the direct trade. And in the 15th century, explorers like Vasco da Gama found ways to bypass these Arab controlled routes, and this led to the age of exploitation, which led to the discovery of direct sea routes to Asia. And this new sea route to India and also the other parts of Asia shifted actually global trade dynamics, and Europe's direct access to Indian and Southeast Asian markets not only reduced prices but also weakened the Arab monopolies. And this shift marked the beginning of a new era in global trade, with European colonial powers and established control over various regions in Asia, Africa, and the America. So, this story of Europeans discovering sea route to India is actually filled with exploration, then ambition, and of course the desire for wealth and power. So, by the 13th century, actually, European nations like Portugal, Spain, and after that, Dutch, French, and eventually the British, and they were eager to gain control over the spice trade, like spices, pepper, cinnamon, and cloves were highly valuable in Europe, but they were controlled by Arab traders before, so via overland route through Middle East. So they were very excited after they discovered the sea route. So we'll study about all the sequence from the beginning of the Europeans invent to India, which is very much important for the exam. And this was just the introductory video and the real motives of the Europeans, like why they want to invent the Indian subcontinent, the real reasons behind it. So in the next video I'll be discussing about Portugal, Dutch and then British. That's all. Thank you.